Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and sorry for such the big hiatus. This video right here is the ToyPAlooza, which happens in Pittsburgh, PA, and this happened way back on March 8th of 2020. This was the last weekend before we all went into shutdown with the pandemic. So yeah, this was a lot of good times. One last hurrah before we really knew what was going to happen with the virus. And it was a really good time hanging out with some buddies and enjoying the toys before we all went in lockdown the next weekend. So I'll just take this moment here and I will update you all on what's been happening with me since I have been posting a lot of videos here. I hope to be back on that weekly posting schedule again, but things just have gotten crazy with everything going on in the world right now. I started my senior year of college, and with senior year of college comes senior capstone project, and boy, let me tell you, that thing takes up so much time. So I'm still going to college full time. And then with the senior capstone project, I'm spending 10-12 hours a week on that project each week. So what is all involved with that is basically you get a problem from a business. My group is working with Marathon Petroleum and convenience store industries, and if Marathon should really enter that industry or not. I know you guys really don't care about that, but that's what's been going on. It just takes a lot of time to get that done so I can graduate college. And putting all those hours into school with that big project on top of that, it hasn't left much time for me to have time for these YouTube videos. I love putting them out for you guys. It makes me so happy to think that you guys can see these things and experience these toy shows. I know that not everywhere in the country and the world has these that I have, and I want to share those with you. Like, look right here, guys. This is an epic Voltron in the box still. Like, that's crazy. That's something that you might go your whole life without seeing, and if you're not really big into like hunting down the toys. So that's really cool to get to share those. But with that, I just haven't had time to put into these videos. It takes me a couple hours to edit one of these videos, so there's that. Plus, it hasn't been really the safest to go out to stores and do toy hunts, so I haven't really been doing the in-store toy hunting at all, trying to, slow the spread and everything. So that's kind of where the videos have been. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I hope to get back to posting. I'm putting in a lot of work here over my winter break to hopefully get you guys some backlogged videos up. I've still been filming when I go to shows. I just haven't had time to put in a couple hours to edit them and narrate them and get them uploaded and tagged and everything. So hopefully here over this break, I'll get some videos built up for you guys, and then you guys can enjoy the toys some more. Seeing these MOTU figures here, I just have to say, man, has MOTU been hot. I don't know You know, there's all this talk of the new movies coming out. People have been going crazy over the MOTU figures. I don't know if I think the movie's going to happen or not. You know, there's been so many times, if you look back at the past, where they say they're going to put out a new Masters of the Universe movie, and then it just doesn't happen. You know, so I'm hopefully optimistic here about it coming out. Waiting on the pins and the needles, just seeing if it's going to happen. But hopefully it does. That's a franchise that has a lot of love. A lot of people, you know, support it. And I think a movie for it would probably be pretty successful. Obviously, it's going to get some backlash from people, but you know, overall, I think it'd be great to get a new generation into Masters of the Universe. Here we have a nice little modern, loose Star Wars dig bin and some other stuff, you know, sprinkled on in there. I've really been going kind of crazy here recently, building up my own personal collection of loose, modern Star Wars. I really love the vintage, as you guys know, but the modern stuff is really good too. I've really been starting to get some of those pieces that I really like. I know there's people out there who are, you know, die-hard vintage fans, but with the modern figures, I mean, that's what I grew up playing for, and so just as you feel if you're die-hard vintage about how it's the best, I mean, it's part of the reason you think that, you know, is because you grew up with it. I grew up with these modern toys, the Clone Wars figures, the Legacy collection with the Build-A-Droids, and I really have a special place for those. I love the vintage figures too. I grew up playing with hand-me-down vintage and finding those at flea markets and playing with them, not really knowing what they were or how special they were, but they're definitely a great figure too, so I really think there's definitely room for crossover. If you collect just modern Star Wars, I'd really highly recommend checking out some of the vintage. They have that really unique art style. And if you collect vintage Star Wars, I'd highly suggest, if you like the Clone Wars or you like Episode 3, you know, check out either the Clone Wars figures or those, you know, Revenge of the Sith vintage collection figures. Or even if you're a die-hard OT fan, some of those vintage collection figures like Ponda Baba or Dr. Evazan, like those figures are very nice. They're so realistic, they're super articulated. Highly recommend that, you know, maybe dip your toes in the water a little bit with those and just see if you like them. Get a couple of them, set up a little display. If you like to leave them on the cards, the vintage collection has that vintage look that you could leave up on the cards. I really recommend, you know, just dip your toes in the water and try out the other side. This was my first time coming to ToyPAlooza, guys, and I have to say, I was impressed. It was a great show. Worth the trip over. You know, Pittsburgh's not the closest place to go, but it was worth the drive. I went with some buddies. They were set up. I didn't set up. I just came. I helped them. I did a little bit of shopping and filmed for you guys. If you get the chance, I would definitely head on out. Alright, so this table right on here, this is Sith Lord Creations / The Fan Strike Back. They do some really cool custom stuff, and we actually are going to be having a partnership video with them coming out here pretty soon where I review some of their custom figures. We're going to finish it off here, guys, with my buddy Sean Hill Toxic Slob Retros booth setup. Stay tuned for part 2, guys. That'll be coming here shortly. But until then, have a great day, and may the Force be with you.